What's good, YouTube? It's your girl, Ashlyn. I know it's been a minute since I've done any content here, but I'm excited to share with y'all how I was able to build a six-figure jewelry brand within 9 months, okay? So prior to this, I was a teacher, okay? I was a teacher. I taught for 5 years, and then COVID happened. Obviously in 2020 in December, I just kind of decided this is just not it for me. I did not feel like I was kind of getting, what I deserved as a teacher. Obviously, we don't make much, monetarily, but then outside of that, my duties changed. I had a lot more responsibilities and I just wasn't feeling like I was being fairly compensated for that. And so I truly decided to pour into my dream of building and launching a jewelry brand. But prior to that, there were some things that I needed to work through emotionally. Okay. I needed to work on my mindset. I needed to develop a vision for this brand and figure out how I was going to reach my customers. So the first thing in doing that, like, was just developing the vision. What do I want to see? What do I, want? What is my goal? What is my ideal customer? That kind of stuff. So once I zoned in on that, I remember writing out on a board, I want to see six figures within my business. And I decided to just take daily actions that aligned with that, in terms of like affirmations. I was constantly pumping in positive affirmations about, myself and being a businesswoman, even though I knew nothing about business, and I also decided to really immerse myself in any kind of business content that I could consume, whether that been on Instagram, YouTube. I was watching all kinds of videos regularly. And I was listening to podcasts a lot, outside of just listening to music how I normally would. I would make sure that I was, kind of taking in podcasts from other business women that had had success, and they were, obviously in a place that I wanted to get to, but had an understanding of where I was at, So I found comfort in those kind of things and inspiration, more importantly. And so I decided to continue to take those daily steps. I remember keeping, a picture of my mom and grandmother in my office, and I still have it there to this day, as just a daily reminder of the sacrifices that they made to make sure that I was a success. And I want to make those kind of those daily steps, to ensure that my kids have success too in life. I grew up impoverished. We didn't have very much. My mom made $4.31 an hour, and I just knew that that wasn't going to be, my reality. So that was why I went to school. That was why I became a teacher. But then there became a point of me just wanting more, and there's nothing wrong with that. I feel like God puts those desires in our heart for a reason, because He desires for us to have more. He desires for us to be prosperous, as long as we're doing the right thing. So it's just kind of like, yo, let's figure out a way to run it up. And so that's what I did. In terms of branding, I before I even thought about trying to brand my products or launch any kind of product, because a lot of people get really excited, like, okay, well, I'm gonna sell something tomorrow. Do you even know who you're talking to? Do you know who your customer is? Because a lot of y'all don't know who your customers are. Like, you are just having a whole bunch of different products on your website and you're just trying to see what sticks. And it's giving it's giving swap meet. And I did not want to give swap meet, when I decided to launch my business. So I took some time to just develop a sense of community with the women that I wanted to reach. And the women that I wanted to reach are a lot like me. I've always looked at myself as the fly home girl with good advice. I'm very introverted. I keep to myself for the most part. But if you ain't think about it, it's a whole community of introverts online too. You feel me? And we want to be fly. We want to look good, and we are focused on self-improvement. So I looked for other women that were like that, and so I started with just posting daily positive messages. And then after that, I just decided, well, let me start doing some video content, and share some of this game that I done soaked up over the years, to reach my audience and to reach, who I call my homegirls, my online homegirls. And over time, I just continued to be consistent with that. I was posting 3 days a day, 3 times a day back in 2021. This is before True by Ebony launched in March of 2021. I just kept posting content. I just kept posting content, feeding my audience in a sense, and letting them know, this is the homegirl. Like, I like True by Ebony's content. I like what she puts out there. I like her vibe and everything like that. And because I wanted to stay top of mind, if you're struggling with something, like, literally people would just go to my page and look at it as a library and then DM me like, girl, I just binge watch so much of your content because it really speaks to me. That's what you want. You know what I'm saying? Before you even trying to get some money out of somebody, you got to date them first. Think about this like dating. Like, you go on a date with somebody, don't you want them to get to know you before they trying to get the draws? Before they trying to get in that thing, don't you want them to get to know you as a person? So it's the same thing with customers. And that's how I looked at it. Like, I can't be looking to get y'all to spend no money with me if y'all ain't rocking with what's coming out of my mouth. So I continue to put my positive content. And at the same time, I was wearing the jewelry in the videos. And I'll keep it real. A lot of that, before I even launched was imposter syndrome because I knew I had the pieces, but I was just like, nah, I gotta wait for the right time. I gotta wait for the right time. But what ended up happening was girls would be in the comments like, yo, I love what you're talking about, but where you get that necklace from? Or where you get them bracelets from? Where you get this from? So it became a need that I was fulfilling. My customers had a problem. They were looking for, fly jewelry. They were looking for some really good information that was going to help them, get through their day or get through their week or solve their problems differently. And I became that solution for them. And that is truly what business is. Okay. As a business, you are literally seeking to provide solutions to your specific customer. Okay. It's not to everybody else's customers, it's to the one that's specifically for you. And so I just continued to push that content. And as girls kept asking me, I was like, well, let me come up with a launch date. So I decided to launch in March, and I launched affirmation decks first, because affirmations had truly helped me to believe in myself and feel like I was worthy of doing something different and having a different life. And so I continued to push those affirmations to my audience. And then I was like, okay, well, let me make some decks for y'all. And the girls loved the decks. And I launched my first piece, which was the I Am Enough necklace, which is obviously another affirmation to continue to rebuild, ourselves as women, and realize that, our efforts are enough. We aren't too much. We are whole people. You know what I'm saying? We are not just pieces of ourselves. And so as I continue to share that message, I launched that piece in March of 2021. And my first month, I made $856 in sales. Keep in mind, I was still working full-time as a teacher, but I was starting to see success and I was excited about it. And so I wanted to learn more about my craft. So I was like, okay, well, I need to learn how to market. I don't know much about marketing myself. Like I said, I've historically been a shy introvert, but business has really pushed me into a place where I'm more confident in myself. So I'm like the cool introvert now, you feel me? But I was always a shy introvert. But I knew that I needed to market myself and market my brand if I wanted to truly stand out in the marketplace, so I checked to see what competitors were doing, complaints that they were getting in their comments, things like that. And I soaked up game and I decided, well, I'm gonna be the solution to these problems. They taking like 2 weeks to get their stuff shipped out. I'm shipping your stuff out within 3 days. You feel me? Like, you're the solution. You have to seek out whatever the problems are in the marketplace and become that. And so I learned how to run ads because I knew, okay, now I have an audience. People there's trust there. There's trust that's been built and people are sharing what I've got going on. So I know that there's interest there as well. So why not expand, my audience, to a wider net of people so that I can, reap the benefits of sales, obviously. If I'm doing this content, I'm not doing this content in vain. I'm not just doing this just for fun. You know what I'm saying? Because if that was the case, I'd have just kept teaching and been in the classroom without the stressors of, oh gosh, is this content going to perform well? Are people going to like this? Are they going to like that? No, but I knew I wanted more. So that's why I continue to seek out stuff in terms of like marketing. I learned how to do ads. And when I learned how to do ads, that's when the game changed for me. Because like I said, the first month I made 856. I can't remember what I made in May, but let me tell you, in June, I had a 5-figure month. I made 15 racks, $15,000. Okay. And so that's what I knew. Okay, girl, this isn't a fluke. You figured this out. You're doing your thing. So let's continue on. And in July, I had another 5-figure month. In August, I had another 5-figure month. And so that's when I was like, okay, this can become full-time for me. I knew that I didn't want to go back to the classroom. I love my students. I love working with children, but I just was not getting the satisfaction from my job anymore. And I was really excited about how my brand was growing. So I decided to become a full-time entrepreneur probably about a week before we were supposed to go back to school. It was a heavy decision for me to make, but it was one of the best decisions I made because I've truly learned to have faith in God and have more faith in myself as well. Like, I was nothing like this prior to business. Don't get me wrong, you have your stressors and struggles, but at the end of the day, business has truly made me more excited about, life to a degree. And so after developing the vision for the business, after developing a sense of community and marketing myself, via ads and things like that, the audience just continued to grow and expand. The sales continue to grow and expand. I would have low periods here and there where maybe I might not have a sale this day, but then the next day I'm having $1,000 day. That's business. That's one thing I want to share and impress upon y'all's hearts is that everything is not going to always work out in the way that you want to or in the way that you plan. But as long as you stay diligent, as long as you stay persistent with your ideas, as long as you keep strategizing and keep putting the work in to move, to move the needle forward and push your business forward, you are going to see success. I had my own personal struggles at some point, COVID, family members passing and things like that. And that was tough, but I still, decided to continue to like pour into my business and learn more about business. Like I said, I continued to immerse myself in business content. I wasn't, consuming a lot of like other content that I used to in the past, where I would be just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, looking at stuff on IG. Like anybody that I was following was business oriented so that I could just maintain that mindset. And so outside of that, the biggest thing that I would say was truly taking a look at analytics. And y'all probably like, what you talking about analytics? Data, baby. It's called data-based decision making. And when you make decisions based on data, that is when the business continues to grow. Okay. So if I've identified my best seller, I'm going to keep that in stock, because initially I used to have problems like with not wanting to have a whole bunch of stock available, because I was afraid, well, what if people don't buy it? Or what if they don't like this piece? Yada, yada, yada. But if you keep seeing success, you obviously need to keep those items in stock. It is the silliest thing to be like, yeah, I'm sold out. I remember being excited about that a few times. I'm sold out. Okay, you sold out, but now ain't no money coming in because you don't have anything available. You know what I'm saying? And it's taking your suppliers to get your pieces to you. It's taking them a few weeks. So you stuck. You sitting like a stuck duck. And I didn't want to be a stuck duck anymore. So I started analyzing my data, seeing, okay, well, this is how quickly things are selling out. I want to make sure that I have these pieces regularly stocked. Anything that people just didn't seem to be, having an interest in, I'm a lower them prices and then get rid of that inventory. Why hold on to things? We get emotional about stuff thinking, oh, well, I think this is so great. This is so cute. But your customers are literally telling you what they want. So you got to soak up game and then act accordingly. Another one of the things that helped me on my store was a specific app called Lucky Orange. And that's an app where literally you could see people browsing on your site. You could see it live. You could watch on the pages that they click, and then when they decide to exit your website. And so I decided to study that, because I'm like, why do people keep exiting my website? Why aren't they checking out with me? And then I would notice, oh, well, they was looking for this item that wasn't in stock. Or, oh, they went to this page and they was wondering about something. And then it was like, I don't know about that. And so they left, and then I was able to immediately pivot. You know what I'm saying? Like, data is everything. In terms of conversion rates, that's something we need to talk about. Like, a conversion rate is literally your rate at which people are not just visiting your store, but actually making a purchase. They're taking direct action and checking out. So if you have a low conversion rate, then you know that, okay, there's some things that I need to put in place on my website. Maybe I need to update my pictures. Things need to look a bit better. In terms of content, I need to be producing more content that is going to attract my audience. So I'm going to study my competitors. Let me see what they're putting out there to make sure, oh, let me stay on top of my game, and not get drowned out by the competition, because things do get tough. You know what I'm saying? I started seeing success, obviously, and then other girls start copying my particular collection, my Jade collection. And so I remember being frustrated by that. But then it was just like, girl, you're the brand, though. You know what I'm saying? You're the brand. You've taken the time to sow into these women. They appreciate it. So continue to do those things that built that brand. Don't get sidetracked by like the copycats and the fakes and things like that. Like, they're copying you for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of like mental struggle that you kind of go through as an entrepreneur. But it's like, as long as you kind of continue to like pump affirmations, surround yourself with other business-minded people, and consume that business content, you're going to be okay. So like I said, we want to make sure that we're developing a vision for our business. Okay. You want to recognize exactly who you're selling to. Remember, who are you dating? Who are you dating? Okay. And be consistent with meeting that person's needs via products. Okay. The products that you sell, remember, are solutions to their problems, and via the content that you're serving them with. Okay. And then that sense of community is going to come. The community is going to be attracted by the content that you are creating. So make sure that it is good content. Research your competitors. Okay. And then outside of the vision and, branding and things like that, it's marketing. You have to continue to put yourself out there in a way that you become the industry standard. I remember there were other people that may have been selling these products, but they don't sell them no more. Like, I've literally seen some of my competitors stop selling the same collection because people have begun to just come to me for that. So they don't even run ads to those particular collections anymore, and that is a testament to the work that I've done to become a solution for my customers and not just sell them a product. You know, you can click on anybody's product page and be like, okay, that's cool, but you're left uninspired. I want my customers to take action because they feel as though, man, this brand is fly, this brand is representative of me, you know, and I feel good about myself, you know, as a Black woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew exactly who I was speaking to. I knew that I was speaking to, you know, the insecure woman that dealt with a lot of overthinking and a lot of mental chatter, you know. So I created content for those women, you know, and I also got the fly drip for you as well, you know. So knowing your person is incredibly important. And like I said, by the end of December, December of 2021, I had hit 101K in sales. I had a very successful Black Friday. I was very strategic in terms of what I offered to my customers, and I took the time to just think about what they wanted, what are my constant bestsellers, and how can I do this in a different way than they've seen before. So I came with a custom jewelry box. It was a True by Ebony jewelry box, and you get, you know, a specific amount of pieces for a set price. Like, the girlies was eating it up. You know what I'm saying? There's ways to reposition yourself in the marketplace, but you have to think about it. Not only think about it, but you also have to do the research. And one thing about me is, you know, being in school for as long as I was, and then becoming a teacher, it's everything is research based, you know, so you have to be willing to do the work and take action. So I hope that this video has been beneficial. If there's anything that I've left out or anything that y'all wonder about, go ahead and leave me a note in the comments, because I am going to become much more consistent with my YouTube content, because I realize I'm still a teacher. Okay, I am still a teacher. I'm still out here teaching the girlies in different ways, but I'm really excited about being able to teach business. So if you happen to have any questions or comments, let me know, or slide me a DM, or book a session with your girl. Book one of them 60-minute sessions so we can, you know, just powwow and figure some things out in terms of your business. Okay, go ahead and book that session. But outside of that, I thank y'all for listening to me, and I wish nothing but prosperity for you and your business, and may God continue to bless and keep you. Peace out.